Hey y'all, welcome back to Game Geeks. How y'all doing? Today we're going to be talking about another Savage Suzerain setting, Noir Knights. Now in Noir Knights, what you have is, it's a very interesting game that quite honestly, I've never seen the genre quite represented before. This is a 1930s sort of monster and mystery hunting RPG, where you're part of this fledgling agency called the SPA, which is the Special Projects Administration. It's just at its start. One of the cooler things about it is this is the same organization that's sort of at its nadir where it's falling apart in Millennium Knights, which is an upcoming review. So with this is set in the Great Depression. You've got the Dust Bowl, you've got no one having any money, and you are playing these characters who work for this organization trying to keep the monsters and the mystery where it needs to be. To me, it has a slight planetary feel to it, where you're going around and you're doing these things and you're doing your best to keep it undercover. This could easily be represented as either a high pulp or a low superpowered game. Now, one of the more interesting things about this, in my opinion, is its arcane backgrounds, or its different take on magic than you normally see. Gone are the fireball-wielding blasters of the past. Now we have three main different groups. You've got rusiologists who use science, maybe mad science, based out of Florida State University, who've learned how to control the weather in one form or another. They're adventurers, they go out and you're thinking, well, that's a pretty lame power to have, until you realize there's a lot of things you can do with limited weather control. This is particularly applicable during the Dust Bowl, where there was a drought, no one had any water to grow crops. You could easily become the rainmaker to go from town to town. It's just the difference is, now you're not just playing people for food and, well, sex, but now you're actually able to make it rain for them. The second one to talk about are the rail walkers. These are hobos, trying to bring that phrase back into common use. The hobos who wander the rails, they have the power of sigil magic. If you know a little bit about the era, there were hobo signs that they would put up of, this person's not friendly, this person will give you food, bad dog, stay away, that sort of thing. One of the interesting things about that is they consider the railway in the 1930s to be the great sigil over America, where that in itself is one giant rune sigil that's protecting the United States from outside forces. Finally, there are the taximancers, which are voodoo-oriented patchwork necromancy with some assembly required. Which, if that doesn't get your thought going of, oh my God, that's awesome, then this book isn't for you. All of these have to be played fairly subtly because this isn't a high magic setting. This isn't Call of Cthulhu because it's nowhere near as deadly or dangerous, and it's not Blood Shadows either. This is definitely a game more for heroes. You're not playing average Joe here running around trying to fix things. The characters actually start at the heroic rank, meaning you're 60 XP in and that many raises to build your character. So you start fairly potent to begin with. There are a host of new edges, as you would expect for any Savage Worlds books. One of my personal favorites in there was the folk hero, where you get one power from the power set that you can use to death. Now, these allow for a wide variety of characters. This is kind of where it dips its toe into sort of pulpy superhero types. You could very easily build the Shadow from this, the Spider, or the Asp. And those of you who get that reference with the Asp, I'm going to be deeply impressed. Say something about it in the comments if you know where it's from. So, in addition to all of that, it gives you a lot of background on the era, but when you get to the GM's portion of it, then it really starts to shine because it has the most in-depth background, alternate history for what's going on that I've ever seen that has not been completely published in a giant book in and of itself. It has depth like, honestly, I don't know that I've ever really seen before, with its history and what's going on and who you're dealing with and what's really going on behind the scenes. Followed by a plot point campaign. That's one of the things I love about plot point campaigns, is it gives you the opportunity to learn all of these things and then break them. So it's got the plot point campaign built into it, which it's a very good one. And my only hesitation there is it still pales in comparison to the one seen in Dogs in Hades. But it's a good plot point campaign, and it mixed in with some of the other Savage tales is particularly nice because it can have the players chasing their own tails for a while. It's not just investigation, I'm going here, haha, the big bad guy. This has dead ends, this has red herrings. this has other things for you to explore. In addition to those, just reading through the depth of deep background that it's got in this setting, there are plot hooks and story ideas abounding in there. Is this a game for you to get? Honestly, it's a genre I've never really seen represented before. Not the pulp thing. You get pulps a lot, but playing in the Depression era. It is supernatural. It is a low-end magic, but with a lot of more ha-ha type powers that you have. And my only hesitation with it is I don't know a whole lot about the 1930s myself, and I've got a couple of amateur historians in my group that would probably be correcting me on every time I said a word. So that makes me just a little bit nervous in running it. But I think if you're willing to let that go, or you have players who won't quite be that picky, then I think it's a fantastic, very different sort of background than I've seen in a game before. Have a good day, y'all. Have fun gaming.